this happens like at this point like once a stream. I'm used to it. It's a Borderlands issue. It freezes up. It kills my computer for like a few seconds and then it goes out. But we're back. We're back. I love it. Well, I'm mech loving it, and we're straight back into the farm, straight back into the business. Yeah, I started playing it, and I'm so beyond done with this game, 110%. Yeah, sometimes it crashes, goes slow. I got no enjoyment out of this game at all anymore. Yeah, honestly, very fair. I have like a bone to an axe to grind, I guess, a bone to chew or whatever they say. Like I'm not giving up on it until I'm fully done with it, and then absolutely I'm throwing it in the trash. I'm never once touching it again. This is not like one of the Borderlands games that I'll be coming back to and being like, oh, remember, like, you know, this time when we were getting. No, that's why I want to be done with it as soon as like I finish everything. This thing is getting uninstalled and never opened again. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, thank you. It does drive me absolutely insane mode. Okay. I explained that to go back on the MID asshole. I explained that some of her comments had made Lily feel disrespected. Yeah, no shit. And I didn't want that to ruin the holiday. Yeah, fair enough. Josh got upset and said I was being petty. Go fuck yourself, Josh. Yeah, for sure, Salt. Yeah, exactly. He argued that I was overreacting and that Lindsay was just being honest. Well, I'm just being honest by saying that you're banned from the fucking Thanksgiving dinner, motherfucker. Sorry. It's whenever like I'm being honest to you, it's hurtful and makes you ostracized and not want to participate in social events. But whenever you're being honest with me, it's like totally fine to say some fucked up shit. Fuck you, Lindsay. And Josh, by the way, Josh is like a terrible brother. Like, again, like you can't control the people you're born with, blah, blah, blah. I know that a lot of people have like, you know, very strong familial ties with their siblings. But at the same time, I mean, it's not that hard to press block on your phone or something. Like, make them work for it, you know? Make the only way that they can talk to you is by like coming over to your house or something like that, okay? Make them put in the effort. Like, if the only way they can get through to you is like by sending you a very like passive-aggressive message on iMessage or something like that, then maybe they don't deserve your time or your respect. But I stood my ground. Now Josh says he won't come if Lindsay isn't invited, and my parents are caught in the middle. What? Look, this can't be real. I'm ruling this as obviously like you're not the asshole. Like clearly Lindsay is an insane person to be saying all this shit, and it's very clear cut. There's no like discussion. There's no morally gray middle ground here. Like again, if this is we have 2-3, despite us knowing that none of these like am I the asshole posts are real because they're like very clearly farming like up dudes or whatever. At the same time, for the sake of argument, we have to consider them as real, and also for the sake of entertainment for ourselves. But like, you know, clearly, like if this was real, obviously you're not the asshole, but if clearly this isn't real, then maybe you're the asshole for writing this post to begin with. But we move on. Thank you so much, SoCal Living? That's your name? Your name is just doxing yourself? This is why people are fucked up, man. This is why we're not making it to the year 3000, okay? Wait, is this an AI and not real? Yeah, exactly. It's an Am I the Asshole post. Yeah, this is not like my own experience. I think you joined just after like I laid down the ground rule for the fact that we're going to be reading like Am I the Asshole posts. Yeah, no, this is not something that has happened to me. Otherwise, it would be absolutely insane. If let me think. Have I had any like Am I the Asshole moments in my life? I think I have had a few. I remember, and this is a very iconic one, and this is gonna put a lot of people on blast. There was one time, and I don't know if I've sucked this one off before. There was one time I was running a D&D game. And this is like a classic player to DM disagreement type of deal. He was the guy was playing Aarakocra, which already, by the way, I know like me as a DM I should have vetoed it, but it was like the second campaign I had run, or maybe even the first campaign I had run at that point. No, it was the second one. And you know, I was hoping that players would be having fun with the game rather than trying to like min-max the shit out of it, okay? Yeah, because I was thinking to myself, you should be saying these people's names on stream. Yeah, they could check it back to you. But yeah, makes more sense if this Am I the Asshole post. Yeah, absolutely. That's also the thing that I said. Like, there was no, like, you know, preamble in the post about them being, like, these being the fake names. Like, they just, I guess it's like an implied thing these days in Am I the Asshole, but I was still, like, taken aback how, like, brazenly they were saying the names of the people. But yes, no, absolutely. I avoid saying names of everybody that I know at all times. Not even like as a I'm talking shit about them, just as a fact of like, you know, respecting their privacy. Not everybody wants to be put on blast out here, you know. Like I'll say like my friends and stuff, but you know, if you want to like squeeze a name out of me, you gotta like at least take me out to dinner first. And so what was I talking about before? Oh yeah, I was running a D&D game. And this is not an Am I the Asshole post, this is a me post, okay? This is true lived experience. And they were the party was in a sewer, right? And like sewer with like, you know, shitty sludge water almost, okay? And this motherfucker, right? Like it was a jump, like a simple little like acrobatics check if they wanted to jump to the other side. Like there were other paths to go. And because these were the sewers, I said that it was too tight for his full wingspan to open and for him to simply be able to, you know, fly over the gap. Now, is that like a little limiting on my part as a DM? Yeah, for sure. Like, I was a young, dumb, like, you know, DM, okay? Don't hold it against me. But still, you know, I'm the ruler of the universe. I am God, and therefore, if I say something, it is true. Not for this motherfucker, apparently, because he tried to jump the gap. He failed. He fell into the water. And then this motherfucker just says, I fly out of the water. And I'm like, huh? You're like submerged, my guy. How, spin me a yarn. Tell me how you're getting out of this. Motherfucker told me, because birds have bird oil that allows them to simply go through water undisturbed. And I was like, First of all, that's like, what, 2 or 3, like, you know, seafaring birds that can actually like dive into the water and come out flying? Like, have you ever seen a fucking like eagle fall into the water? Like, those motherfuckers just like extend out their wings and are like, fuck me, I guess I'm stuck here until like a nice guy in a kayak like extends his paddle to me and takes me to shore or something like that. So he was like arguing that Aarakocra have like bird oil on them, that like they can't be stopped by falling into like shit water and piss and stuff. Like, no. That's not gonna happen. And this, like, what should have been like a, you know, DM overrules this situation that lasts like, you know, 30 seconds, it turned into like a half an hour, like, you know, disagreement. And I was like, I'm not playing with this guy anymore, Darren. I was like, you're the asshole. I don't care if I'm invoking my god rights as the ruler of this universe. Go fuck yourself. I'm not. Like, I don't know, that guy, that day, that's when that relationship died, was bird oil day. I could not live with myself playing with that person anymore. That's whenever everything went wrong, man. That's when everything went wrong. Yeah, I guess that's like the closest Am I the Asshole post I have, like, because, I don't know, am I crazy to know that I don't need to put down like an Am I the Asshole post? Like, I don't need to like broadcast this to the world because I don't need other people's opinions to tell me how an action was like deemed by like the Council of Humans at a certain given situation. Like, look, I don't want to say that I'm cracked at like, you know, social deduction or whatever, but I can pretty much tell whenever who's being the asshole when. I don't need like, you know, several people who have never left their house like in like 5 years or something to tell me whether this like faux pas was real or not. Okay, like, and me included, by the way, me included. Okay, I'm a noted house stayer. Okay, I'm not like coming at this from like a higher moral ground where because I go out to walk at a park or something like once a week, I'm somehow morally superior than people who like stay inside their house the whole time. This is not like a value judgment. It's simply a like you gotta know your audience. Like Reddit already is like a crazy place, and any Am I the Asshole post that like, you know, it's mostly for entertainment rather than actual. At least I hope. Like I hope this guy, this who is it? This SoCal Livin' 1993 guy. I hope that he didn't come up with this post if it's real. To get like a genuine like you know, am I being like a little crazy here, guys? By like, you know, wanting to ostracize this fucking piece of shit that keeps making my wife feel really bad about herself. I feel like you don't need to turn to the council of like you know, the open market of ideas, okay? to to really know if you're being the asshole or not in this particular instance, okay? I think you might be able to deduce that yourself. My mom thinks I'm being too harsh, but I feel like I'm standing up for my wife. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my brother bring his girlfriend to Thanksgiving? No, clearly not. Anybody who says otherwise is fucking insane, okay? What's the verdict here? I go back. Oh, they don't have the verdict anymore? Am I in the wrong subreddit, maybe? I don't know. This is clearly like not the asshole. Okay, let's move on. Okay. This is maybe a bit of a crazy title. Am I the asshole for making my lesbian daughter's children blankets? Throwaway account. Yeah, no shit. Basically, I, 52F, have 3 daughters. Anne, 30F, Carrie, 26F, and Jane, 20F. Okay. All fake names. Yeah, thank God. See, this is the type of preamble that I needed with the other post, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Let's carry on. When all my girls turned 18, I made them a special blanket. I made them, I then made 3 swaddle blankets out of some materials for their future children. Okay, that's kind of cute. It's like a very mother thing to do. For the future children. Carrie told me not to because she didn't want kids. I found out later it was because she's a lesbian. Okay, I mean they're not. Maybe that's lumping in like a lot of things together that don't necessarily like add up to. Oh, 15 clap time mama heads. Let's go. Sorry. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Okay, now we just need pizzas. We need pizzas and we're happy as a fish. What was I doing? What was I? Oh yeah, I was reading. I said okay, but make them just in case. Yeah, this is also what I would do. I think before we get like deeper into the post, I think if I had this like, you know, this instinct to and this tradition, I guess, to like make all of my children like not only a blanket for them but also a blanket for their possible children, I would make it. But then if my, you know, if my child turned around and told me don't do it for me please, I'd be like okay, sure. I would do it for myself because I think it's like an important ritual to keep myself sane or something, but then I wouldn't tell them. I wouldn't throw it in their face. I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't do anything. I would just make it and then I would just store it somewhere, okay, just for the sentimental value. Okay, so far this seems like I don't know. We'll see. Earlier this year, Carrie married her lovely wife, Rory, 28F. Her amazing daughter, Diane, 5F, is my 3rd grandchild. I approached Rory and asked if I could give her one of the blankets I made for Carrie's kids, or if she wanted me to make one special for her out of the materials I used to make for their wedding living room blanket. So far, very, very reasonable. Very, this is like hitting all of my benchmarks for like a sensible human person. I always give these out on the day they're born, so for Diane I plan on giving it on her birthday, and was explaining that to her. She told me to ask Diane. I did, and Carrie overheard. I found out that she's pregnant because she was crying and yelling that I didn't respect her wishes. So how how can she wait, what? Huh? That she's pregnant because she was crying and yelling that I didn't respect her wishes, and how can she trust me with her baby? I'm just so confused and hurt. I was trying to do something nice for all my girls, and then my sweet Diane. Instead of being happy, I was cautious. Carrie is threatening to go low contact because I don't respect her and am obviously homophobic. Because how else would I have thought she'd get pregnant, which is very confusing? What? Huh? This is something a 12-year-old wrote. It goes from absolutely like a very cute thing to like such a like this is clearly like a let's make, you know, lesbians and like the homo whoa, hold 1 second. The like LGBTQA community like enemies is by like painting them as crazy people. I disrespect this post. I think this is written by somebody from 4chan that has hatred in their heart, and I will dismiss it. There's no way this is real in any fashion. Us gays? Yeah, this is clearly written by somebody who's been radicalized by watching like one too many like, you know, Joe Rogan experience podcasts. I disrespect you and I move on. Oh, what's the next one? Am I the asshole for refusing to share a table in a crowded coffee shop with another patron because she smelled bad? Okay. This one might have a little bit of meat on the bone. This one we might be able to see both sides. Look, cursorily, what would I do in this before seeing more context in this situation? First of all, sharing a table with anybody is a little weird for me. I don't know. I've done it before in bars and stuff like that. Like, by bars, I mean like, there was this bar I used to go to that was like a jazz bar. And so, like, I would sit like there and I would be there for listening to the music, not for any social interaction. But you know, sometimes I would sit at tables designed for 4 people. And so, like, I wouldn't, just because they were comfortable. I don't want to go sit at the bar or something. I liked being on like the couches. And so, like, I was fully aware, like, if somebody came over and asked me, like, if they could share the table, I was always like, yes, of course. And maybe this isn't the best, like, facsimile either, because, you know, at a bar like that, usually the smell of alcohol or, you know, you know, there's, the jazz bars have, like, a certain sort of smell. I'm not talking about, you know, cigar smoke. But, you know, it usually goes out of their way to, like, make the place smell nice. Whereas, like, a coffee shop, I guess, is kind of like a neutral place, right? Like, you don't want to go to a coffee shop that, like, is perfumed out of the wazoo, I guess. So if I was... I don't think I would, like, share a table at a coffee shop. I think I'd be like, you know what, I was just leaving or something. And then, like, walk over to the other side of the bar and try to find another table, or just, like, have the rest of my meal, like, standing up or something. Because it also depends, like, how long I've been there. Now, let's not try to get a get out of jail free card. Let's try to fully immerse ourselves in this scenario. What if I, like, had just sat down? Okay, if I just sat down and was just, like, had taken one bite out of my, like, I don't know, ham and cheese croissant, and one sip out of, like, my hot cocoa or something like that. How would I feel? I think I would be okay. It depends, I guess, how egregious the smell is. And how fixable it is, right? I think I would start, like, maybe try a friendly conversation. Maybe this looks like a little psychotic. But I was actually thinking about this earlier today, so, like, you know, I can't hide my true feelings. I would maybe ask, like, you know, oh, how you doing? Like, start a little bit of the small talk, and then ask, like, do you live in the area or something like that? And if they said, yeah, I live next door, I would just straight up tell them, you should probably like go home and invest in some like deodorant because you smell bad, by the way. And then I'll tank a little bit of the faux pas. I'll tank a little bit of the, you know, like, oh, you asshole, and then like they get up, like they throw their like scalding hot coffee in my face and then you know, burn it off or something. I become Two-Face. But then I feel like, you know, and I'm not one of those guys who's like, I bully you now so that you won't be bullied later. That I find that stupid. But I would be like, you know what? Like, I'm sure people around her life probably won't tell her. I'll tell her now, or, you know, this person, they're saying, I'm putting a gendered pronoun on it because the post has a gendered pronoun on it, okay? I don't think my stance would change regardless of the S being there or not. But yeah, I think I would just let them know if they live in the area. If they don't live in the area, I would say, oh, that's too bad. If they just commuted like for 2 hours, there's nothing you can say about them smelling bad that will make their day like not worse. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you tell them if it's something that's like fixable. Otherwise, if it's not fixable, you just like, you know, it's not my place. I guess, like, you go out there in the marketplace of ideas and hope that nobody else like tells you that you smell bad for the rest of the day or something like that. Okay, I-22F was studying at a popular coffee shop in my town yesterday afternoon. It was crowded, but I was lucky enough to get a 2-person table with an outlet. Okay, I stayed there for maybe 3 hours and ordered multiple items throughout my stay. Okay, first of all, I understand that you're studying, and it makes sense. But at the same time, like, aren't you paying, like, if you're studying, okay, sorry for the assumption, don't you have, like, a university that you go to, and those usually have, like, hold on, let me sell my shit. Don't usually those have, like, libraries or something that you can go to and spend your time there? Like, that's insane that you'd spend 3 hours at a coffee shop studying? Just go to the library. That's what it's there for. It's like me going to a tennis court to I don't know, maybe this is like not a good analogy. I can't afford that. What? What happened to my money? Hold on. What's going on? Wait, what happened to my money? Did I go over the value? Did I go into like the minus territory and it went back from 0? Sorry, that took me out a little bit. For 3 hours you at a coffee shop studying? For 3 hours? Really? Is that like the most sensible thing to do with this day and age? I don't know. Look, maybe I'm the crazy one, okay? About an hour into my stay. Oh, okay, alright. Then I don't know why you said 3 hours for. Sometimes people concentrate better when they have background noise. I think, you know what, that's fair. That's fair, absolutely. I have some friends that are like that, so yes, thank you for adding that, you know, not devil's advocate per se, but adding a little bit more perspective into it. Yeah, you know what? Yes, people do concentrate sometimes a little bit better with some background noise. You're absolutely right with that offer. So I'll take that into consideration. Okay. Maybe, okay, then, okay. I see it a little bit more from their side. I understand a little bit more, and especially, and again, it depends if the place is really busy, I guess, as this place clearly is. But we'll put a pin in it for now. Then let's get more context into the situation. About an hour into my stay, a girl my age, who reeked of weed. Okay, I don't know if that was like necessarily needed. Who reeked of weed, asked if she could share my table so she could study as well. Okay, so this is like a long-term commitment of like 2 hours or something that you'd be like, it's a social contract that you're entering with this person that you clearly disliked for their like life choices. Maybe a little bit, you know, in a very negative light. But, you know, maybe you're sensitive to smells or something. So who knows? It's legal in my... yeah, here we go. I looked around and every other chair was occupied, and there were even more people standing beside the tables. Okay, so yeah, this place is packed. And this other girl reeks of weed, okay? Like, pay attention to the verbiage sometimes. You'll be surprised at what you find. I absolutely despise the smell of weed. It's legal in my state, so there's no issues there, but it makes me nauseous and gives me a headache. Okay, well, look, can I say that I get that with like with bleach, but at the same time, like it's because it's like, you know, a mustard gas component rather than because it's like, you know, a leaf that grows in the ground or whatever. But we'll carry on. So I knew there was no way I would get anything done with that girl across from me. Okay. Okay. Without mentioning her smell, I told her no and that I needed my personal space. A little combative. I would maybe, I don't know. Okay, we can get back onto maybe how I would handle the situation later. So right now, I don't even think it's an everybody sucks here. I think it's just like an unfortunate timing, maybe. Again, like very I don't know, you haven't outright told her that like she smells awful, so I guess so far, like, you know, saying that you need your personal space is somewhat like reasonable. That's a good excuse to turn on at the very least. Instead of walking away, she pressed and said that if I wanted my personal space, I shouldn't study in the most popular coffee shop in town. Okay, again, a little combative, but maybe that's in response to the combative, like, you know, preamble. I told her that I specifically didn't want her at my table because she smelled like a marijuana farm. And she should take a shower before she tries to infringe on strangers' personal space? Okay, you are crazy. You are insane. Why you don't say that? You just thank you know, enjoy having the moral high ground whenever she like said that crazy shit to you about like you not wanting personal space, and then you're just like, you know what, if you can find someone else to sit at my table, go for it. Like you do like like maybe like a bit of a you know, jab of maybe you're too like rude for me, but to then just go off and drop a nuclear bomb like that? Jesus! I thought she would go away after that, but she told me she was sitting at my table whether I liked it or not. She put her things down, maybe thinking I would leave. Instead, I flagged down an employee and explained the situation. She sided with me and asked the girl to leave, threatening to call security if she didn't do so. This is insane. This is escalation like 101. Like the type of thing that like some like police officers like skip out on Academy Day, okay? Holy! I resumed my work but felt a bit shaken by the situation for like, you know, pulling the the little plastic tab off of the red button and like detonating a nuclear bomb in the middle of a coffee shop, telling this girl that she fucking smells like a marijuana farm that she should shower if she wants to be out in public. Okay. Holy. Later that evening, I recalled what happened to some of my friends. I thought they would all agree with me that she was being an AH. But to my surprise, a couple of my friends told me that I was the unreasonable one. One of them is familiar with the coffee shop and told me that it was rude of me to hog a table, even though I bought 2 drinks and a pastry throughout my stay. Okay, first of all, it's good of you to like give like patronage for the space that you're using. But at the same time, you know, again, this is why they make places like if you want like, I don't know, background noise, maybe instead of going to like the coffee shop in town, you can go, I don't know, maybe there's like a cafeteria at your university or something like that. I don't know, like I think that there's better places to study than like a really busy coffee shop. And like the way that you like, this isn't a gas station that you're like going by for like a minute and like, you know, you need an excuse to use their bathroom and so you buy like a bottle of water or something. Like you're staying someplace for 3 hours and you're buying like an item an hour to like justify you staying there. Where, and again, I don't want to draw too many comparisons maybe, but you know, people are probably buying like those 3 items in one go, like, you know, taking 20 minutes to consume them and leaving. So I don't think that's like a particularly strong argument for like your reason of staying. If it's like, again, if it's the most popular coffee shop in town, okay, like what's wrong with going to like, you know, the number 5 or something like that? Okay, why do you have to go to like the absolute nicest spot? Okay, I think that this is becoming like more about your choice of like where to go study rather than the situation where you told a woman to like go shower, which is definitely a social faux pas. Um, and that if I really had a problem with someone smelling bad, I should have just left. You know what? I again, 3 hours is a long time to be at like a very popular place where like there's a clear like deficit of tables. But it's a different thing if it's like a knowledge that everybody who goes there knows that that place is like used by a lot of students. Like, there's a difference, right? Okay. There's a difference between it being the most popular coffee shop in town, where it's like a Starbucks, where like people are like filtering through at all times, right? Like there's like, you know, 5 new customers every like 10 minutes. And like, you know, 4 people are filtering out every 10 minutes, right? Like there's a difference between that and a difference between this coffee shop is like the most popular in town for students to go sit at for like hours on end. Then there's a different like expectation of when you go there, like it's clear that you're not gonna be like, you know, if this is the only person in the coffee shop that's like staying there for 3 hours while everybody else is like rotating out like normal human beings, then that's a problem. But if the popularity comes from it's a nice place to study at, then the people who go to the coffee shop should know that there's probably not gonna be anywhere to sit down, okay? Like, let's make like several like, you know, proper arguments for this person, okay? We're trying to see it from several different angles all at once. So then, okay, in that case, I would say you're not the asshole for going to the coffee shop and staying there for 3 hours, but you're still a little bit of the asshole for like dropping a nuclear bomb at someone who smells like a piece of like leaf that you dislike, okay? Because, okay, how would I handle this, okay? Let me pick something that's like equitable to me, right? To me. Like, this isn't something that would ever happen because it's like unrealistic, but if someone came in reeking of bleach and then I immediately like, you know, get a headache from the bleach smell, and I want to be there for a few hours studying, I would be like, look, you know, I'm a little sensitive to the smell. I apologize. I understand that that's like a me problem or a me issue. It looks like, you know, some of the other people around here are also like studying and sitting at their table to study. Could you maybe see like if someone else can maybe trade with you and they can sit over here so long as they don't smell of bleach? I think it would still be a little rude, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't think I have any moral high ground there, but I think it's like a near neutral way of dealing with the situation by telling them, you know, I'm a little sensitive to the smell that's emanating from you. Could you try and see if like someone else is willing to like come over here? And take the seat that you would have taken otherwise. Because then, like, you know, it's a little annoying and someone else has to move, like you're involving a third party, but at least it like it's a way to like, you know, if you're a people pleaser, to make everybody happy. Otherwise, then I wouldn't like go out and say like, you know, it looks like you were just dumped into a nuclear plant. You know, you should really like not clean yourself with bleach before you leave your house, you fucking freak. I think that saying that would be a little, sorry if this is radical to say, but I think that would be a little too far. So I think Human Jelly 5781, I think you're definitely the asshole for like going that hard, and you have not dealt with the situation greatly. Now, the other person ignoring, like, again, you pretty much like shat in their breakfast, and then they were like, you know what, because you shat in my breakfast, I'm gonna sit down and like make you smell, like, I'm not gonna eat my breakfast, but I'm gonna make you smell my breakfast the whole time. That's also like a little bit of psychotic behavior, but I think the moral high ground goes to that person. I do think it might be like an everybody sucks here type of situation, but it's definitely because the situation was escalated, not because like there was an inherent like conflict of ideas, I think. Another one of my friends said that my comment about how that person smelled was out of line. Yes! This is the friend you should listen to. And even if someone is being rude, I shouldn't talk like that to a stranger. There you go! You have one sane friend. Congratulations. Like, it's not all lost to you. This sparked a huge debate until I agreed to post on this sub to settle this once and for all. And so am I the asshole in the situation? If the situation is real and not just out there made by a stoner who, like, you know, got slightly offended when, like, somebody, like, whenever they were walking down the street said that they smelled sort of bad, and so they created, like, this entire scenario in their heads. If this is real, yeah, everybody sucks here for various different reasons. I think, personally. It's very psychotic what you said, and the way that they acted afterwards is also extremely psychotic. Nobody chose the moral high ground here. Everybody was like, you know, the only way we can achieve peace is through, like, mutually assured destruction. This was, like, all kinds of fucked up. So, you both of you are the asshole. I apologize for breaking it down. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, God. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna shy away from, like, a potential controversial post, okay? If I find, just like the other one that was, like, clearly written by someone who's homophobic, if I find something, like, troubling as we read through this, then we just move on, okay? But we gotta understand that we don't just shy away from controversy, okay? We analyze the facts, we read through everything. And again, I'm giving this preamble because the title that I'm about to read is also a little psychotic, okay? So, like, let's take a deep breath. Let's try to piece together why this title is written the way it is. And if it is too problematic, we'll move on. Am I the asshole for calling out my mother-in-law and telling her she is not Native American? Crazy title. Crazy title. And this one, I can't even, like, hazard a guess. Unless it's, like, the, you know, the whitest person you know that is, like, very privileged. And she says that because she was born, like, in the US year, like, I don't know, 1970. And, like, an immigrant from, like, Irish and Italians or something like that. Then she's just trying to get, like, some stolen valor by saying that she was born in, like, the US, and I didn't do it, it wasn't me. Exactly. Like, then you got a point. Then, yeah, absolutely. Like, if you have, like, a crazy, like, older relative who's, like, saying the, like, you know, I'm African American. It's like the Georgia Callan bit or something like. I think his name is George Callan. Callan. It's a bit where he's like, you know, can somebody from South Africa, like the most white rage supremacists from South Africa, come to the America and get a visa and say that they are African American? If anything, just to, like, spark rage from actual, like, you know, black people. You know, that it's kind of like that vibe. So, like, if your mother-in-law is saying she's Native American simply because she was born in the US and not because, like, she was there before the damn Pilgrims, like, her family line goes back to before the Pilgrims came over and fucked everything up, then yeah, absolutely, like, clown on that ass. But if she, again, let's get to the context. Let's drop the hypotheticals and let's see what this person has concocted. Okay, for context, my wife and her mother really could pass as part Native American. They have dark brown hair, almond eyes, and high cheekbones. Okay, the phrenologist has logged on. They are white but hold the tan real well, and they both tan, often giving them a darker complexion. Okay, we're not starting off too well here, bud. You're gonna have to come up with, like, I think the only thing that can save you is the argument that I made up, okay? If they're both, like, you know, clear, like, European, like, descendants, and they're, like, claiming Native American heritage simply because they were born in the US, that's the only way you can win this, okay? Anything else, your ass is, like, on the dirt. When my wife and I met, she told me she was part Cherokee, okay? And I honestly believed her because she could for sure passed the part look-wise. Again, this is very phrenology. Like, I think that this guy is just racist, but he doesn't want to admit it. She's been asking me for years to get DNA kits so we could learn more about our heritage. Okay, well, first of all, there's a certain amount of, like, trust you have to put into those to, like, make sure before you can start claiming, like, yeah, I'm 3%, like, you know, East Asian or something like that. I was always told I was mainly white and part Mexican. My wife was always told that she was 10 to 20% Native American and white. Okay, so I guess like 80 to 90% white. And I'm putting white in there as like a comedy thing to shy away from like this awful like post that we're going through. We ordered some DNA tests about 2 years ago. My DNA test came back how I expected it to. I'm mainly Irish, German, French, and about 10% Mexican. Okay. So it looks like you got the results back from your actual like DNA kit. Let's put it that way. My wife's DNA test comes back and it says she is 99.9% European, mostly Irish. At first, we both thought this was a mistake, so we ordered 23andMe DNA tests to get more in-depth results. Okay, you know what? This is like more due diligence than I expected from somebody who's posting on Reddit, if this is a real post. Okay. She ordered the more expensive test, and I get the same results, and lo and behold, so does my wife. My wife is 99.9% colonizer, LOL? Brother, you're married? And you're out here putting colonizer, LOL? Look, okay, I understand our generation is a little, like, you know, brain rotted, but that is not the parlance I would expect. I don't know, maybe... not at least in a, like, public-facing role, I guess, that this post is meant to emulate. Oh, no. My wife got really upset because her family has told them for generations they are part Cherokee and their ancestor is Nancy Ward. Okay, well, that's very specific, so interesting. It definitely sounds like the type of thing that like an Irish grandpa would say to like just like stoke the fire of the future or whatever, but we'll move on. Given the test results, it's impossible for that to be true. Okay, like again, look, let's I don't know how much I trust the source. I can't put the apple in the horse's mouth, if you know what I'm talking about. My mother-in-law is the type of woman to post on Facebook a lot. Oh geez, you're not real. You're not real. You are simply, you have a vendetta against your mother-in-law, and you like came up with a crazy fucking scenario where you're using like phrenology and everything to aid your case. You're just a troubled individual, and I'm sorry that you are this way. Let's move on. Is a fucking Facebook posting woman is an insane thing to say. Like I understand the archetype, don't get me wrong, but that is definitely not how you phrase it, brother. If you want to get taken seriously, you need to write like, you know, some scientific essays, okay? Not this appeal to emotion bullshit. Okay, hey, okay, this one is one we can maybe comment on, perhaps? Am I the asshole for telling my daughter, 15, she is not autistic in front of her friends? Okay. Look, you mean the carriage before the horse? Yes, I did mean carriage before the horse, but at the same time, I felt like the apple in the horse's mouth was, I don't know. I was trying to put a spin on it. It didn't work out. I'm glad you caught me, okay? Like, put me in prison and slap me. Sorry, I don't mean to be combative. Don't put me in prison, please. I like playing video games. Unless you put me in prison in, like, Norway or something, in which case, yeah, I'm down for that. Some free food and access to a good lounge area. I can go to prison there, no problem. Okay. My daughter is one of the most well-adjusted and socially okay, fuck you. First of all, like that has nothing to do with autism, okay, motherfucker. You know what? I'm ready to start a war here. Let's go. My daughter is one of the most well-adjusted and socially adept people I have met. She has organized her own birthday parties. Very normal for a child to do is to organize their own birthday parties. Clearly an A-listic child. Sorry, let's move on. Excelled at debate team and the feminist roundtable club at her school, where she organized a fundraiser for at-risk young women. Very normal things for a teenager to do. She's 15, so I have to imagine that this is like whenever she was 12. You want a bear butt spanking with a whip? No! Ah! I'm running away. Yeah, these all of the things that you're describing, very proud father. Super normal things for a child to do is to organize their own birthday party. You know what? This is like the hallmark of every like neurotypical child is to be like the most organized individual ever. There's clearly nothing could possibly be, you know, anormal about your child. I'm glad that you are. This is your benchmark for like the DSM-5. You should be the one to write it, quite frankly. If your child is out there like, you know, making up new like Nobel Prize categories, they are like, you have the most normal child ever, and they couldn't possibly be autistic. Let's move on.